What is going on, guys? It is Big Mike here. We are back today with another Slow Bros podcast, and I'm here with my boy Kooky. How you doing today, Kooky?
I'm great, Mike. I'm fantastic. Thank you for the introduction.
Yeah, man. So Kooky is a Easter egg speedrunner. He plays pretty much all the games: Black Ops 3, IW, Black Ops 4, Cold War. Even the biggest names like Noah J know who he is. So he is a legend in this community.
Oh,
So,
stop making me blush.
so Kooky, what are some of the records that you have for people that don't know?
So I'm mainly known for the Revelations Easter egg solo speed run with Mega Gums. It's a 26:32. It is 9 minutes faster than the classics. 12 minutes faster than the No Gums, and obviously Noah reacted to that one.
Hmm.
He thought I was really funny, and he just thought all my strats in that game were insane. And then I used to hold records like the D Machine Strike speed run. I held the Firebase Z for a little amount of time, and then I just have over 50 records on IW, so they call me the IW King. But any speed run that any strike that you've played, I probably speed ran and had the world record at one point.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, I swear I've seen you play literally everything, and everything you play, you're fucking cracked at. Like, even the super Easter egg, I know when that started becoming a thing and everybody was running that. And for you guys that don't
Right.
know, super egg on BO3 was running Shadows of Evil all the way through all the Easter eggs on BO3 until Revelations. And Kooky comes in like the first or second day and just like drops a filthy ass time.
Drops to sub 3. Didn't I honestly expected like maybe a 4 or 3.5 hour game. I get a
Hmm.
252 out of nowhere. And it was I just had really good RNG and GK. But the rest of my games were like so and still easily beatable. So if anyone wants to go out there and beat it so I can run it back again, be my
Did
guest. But
did Mikey end up beating it yet? Or
Mikey still hasn't beat it. No, it's
damn.
still world record, which is honestly unbelievable and shouldn't be. But can't complain about having a world record.
Honestly, I think that could be an insane ZWC challenge, but not a lot of people could actually do that all the
Yeah,
way
no
through.
one. I don't think anyone's gonna run a super egg because they don't have that much time to devote to.
Yeah.
Which I mean, from a ZWC standpoint, you can't really look for something as competitive as that, but it takes too long because people
Hmm.
aren't gonna be spending, uh, you know, 8 hours a day. I mean, the people who are going to Vegas or gonna win a challenge will be putting in those hours,
Hmm.
but most people, which is what you're looking for as a business, won't spend that much time.
Yeah. And I know they want to have the big YouTubers and stuff participate, and those guys 100%
So,
aren't gonna have any chance doing that.
absolutely.
So, what do you think is your most difficult or most impressive record that you have?
I mean, obviously, I don't think anyone's beating my Rev solo, but
Hmm.
other times are the Revelations 4P any percent, and most of my RW records. Me and the Frog Mob, which I call, it's me, Fantastic Bull, Conqueror, and Hayden.
Hmm.
We pretty much grinded every single map to a point where they're pretty hard to beat. So if anyone was to go, try and take them, it would take them a couple days at least, straight grinding to push the time maybe 20, 30 seconds faster.
Is IW very competitive? Because I really don't see that many
I
people like streaming it or
I
anything.
wish it was more competitive. It used to be just a struggle between me and then the Plasmid squad, which was Plasmid Jeff, Murphy, Quachi, and Salt.
Hmm.
We like throw records back and forth during quarantine, and then out of the blue they just stopped running. And I don't know if it was from them losing their records constantly or them just getting burnt out from it. But it's a shame because IW is such a good game and just no one
Hmm.
plays it anymore because it just got such a bad rep from the get go.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate because I haven't done the IW eggs, but I've seen the maps and I've tried to play some high rounds on like Spaceland and Rave, and just the
Right.
maps look amazing, and I love the movement and a lot of the mechanics in the game, and it just looks like amazing.
It really is a great game, and it just doesn't like it got so much hate from the YouTubers because it wasn't, the algorithm that they've been living off of for, the past 8 years.
Hmm.
The gums, the serious storyline. It was like something fun that Infinity Ward just tried to do because it was such a profitable thing,
Hmm.
and it turned out great, but it just didn't get the respect that it deserved.
Do you think IW is better than
I
the?
I think it's a top 3, absolutely. I mean, it has so much I feel like it has so much replayability, and it's just so fun to, go back over, and speed run a bunch. So, if you're looking for a COD to play and you're burnt out from Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 2 or Cold War, I would suggest buying IW because it's insanely cheap on, G2A. You get it
Mhm.
for $18, you get the whole game. That's worth $100. So profitable.
Yeah, I was surprised because I thought it was gonna be just like $20 for the game, and then have to buy DLC, but it was $20 for the
Yeah,
game
the
and
whole game.
DLC. Yeah, a
Like,
lot. And right now, like if you wanted to buy Black Ops 2, on Steam, it's $60. On G2A and CD keys, it's like $40 right now.
and
And
every single DLC is $15, so you're putting on another 60, like, that's just gross.
yeah, it's awful, dude.
I could never.
Yeah, I don't know. G2A has been kind of bad lately. The prices haven't been as good as they used to be. I mean, IW is good, but besides that, it seems like all the COD prices are skyrocketing on there.
Well, I wonder if it's because more people are actually going to the website now and buying,
Mhm.
their games, so they're like, "Alright, if people are coming here, let's just jack the prices and they'll still pay." Because I mean, what
Mhm.
else were we supposed to do this past year except for stay in our house and play video games?
Yeah, yeah, that's probably true. I seriously wonder where they get these games though, because they are charging such low prices. They got to be doing something scuffed as fuck to get
Yeah,
these
they
games.
have to just be, like, stealing it or yeah, just like
Yeah, I don't know how they make their money, but
yeah, maybe like a fake refund or something, or maybe they
mhm.
just don't play the game and just wanted to be nice people, which I mean, highly doubt, but there's a chance.
Yeah. Okay. So, a big question I have for you, Kooky, is why do you do Easter egg speedruns? Like, what do you like about them? What keeps you coming back?
So I don't know exactly what it is, but I could never get myself to do a high round anymore. It's just I can't put myself in these 50, 60 hour games,
Mhm.
and just break the barrier for the rounds, which I give my respect to people that can because that takes so much patience and diligence. But I look for something quick. I've always found myself like in my life saying, how fast can I do this? Or, like how long is it going to take for me to complete this, homework or whatever. And I'm
Mhm.
like, why don't I just apply this to my gaming or something I enjoy doing? And back in 2017, I stumbled upon zombierecords.com, back in the early days when it was actually a good site. And I see these speed runs for Black Ops 3, like the game that I've been playing with my friends all the time. I'm like, all right, why don't I just jump into this? And
Mhm.
I loved it from the start, and it just keeps bringing me back every time.
Yeah, when I got into Easter egg speedrunning for a while, I loved it, man. It's just being in a game for about 30 minutes to an hour, maybe. And like if you get fucked by RNG or if you mess up, it's okay. You could just restart because it was only 30 minutes or so of your time.
Right.
But in a high round, you could
You're
be
there 40 hours in and you get terrible luck, like, maybe you don't get that max ammo that you needed, and you're like, what are you doing? You're stuck on round, like, 180, 200 plus. You can't do anything. You don't wanna reset because you're 40 hours in, you've devoted this much time. What are you gonna
yeah.
do? With a speed run, you're in there, maybe get bad RNG 12 minutes in, you're like, "You know what? I just wasted 12 minutes, not a big deal, let's just
Mhm.
reset."
Yeah, I really did enjoy Easter egg speedrunning because it was something fresh for me because I'd been doing high rounds like casually or going for times a little bit for maybe 2 years or so, and I was super burnt out after my Ascension 255, mostly because that's the most boring map I've ever
Oh
played,
my god.
but also like I'd been doing high rounds for a long time, so I always
Right.
had Mikey in my chat on my ass like stop running in circles playing high rounds and start doing some egg speed runs. And I finally listened to him and I got on BO3. And before that, I didn't know anything about the Easter eggs. Like I never played BO3 in its prime. So I didn't know the maps. I didn't know ZNS or GK or anything like that. The only map I knew was SOE, and I knew a little bit of DE, and but not the Easter eggs though, just the map layout.
Right,
So
right, okay.
I went through these maps one by one and I had to learn the layout of the maps I had to learn the Easter egg, and I learned the speed run. And because this was all so new to me, it was just so like entertaining and so different, and it completely took away that burnout. So,
Yeah, seriously, like trying something new, which was there was a point in my career, if you want to call it a zombies career, where actually I was like, I'm so burnt out from running these eggs. Why don't I just let's just do a high round for a week? And
mhm,
I obviously picked Ascension because easy, but I get extremely boring. And I think
mhm.
that was my fatal error in like trying to become a hybrid high rounder Easter egg speedrunner. Is that I picked the worst map to start off with. I mean, that's like so boring. And I'm sure if I went so if I ever go back to trying to do a high round, like what do you suggest I actually start like high rounding on? Which map?
Um, so are you talking about BO3 or just in general?
Any map. It doesn't really matter to me. I've got every single COD like competitive COD,
Okay, so
BO1, BO2, whatever.
you already have game knowledge, obviously. Like you
Right.
know how to move your way around zombies, you know how to play fast. So like the early rounds are going to be easy for you. So, I would say one of the best maps to high around is I like Kino BO3 no gums or classics. I think that's a super fun map because it's a hybrid between you run partial hordes in the alley with a thunder gun, and then after you can't do that anymore depending on what round if you're no
You
gums
go
or
to that trap up
classics.
there.
Mm-hmm.
I always like I love watching 255 montages because there's always like points in time where it actually does get hectic and you need
Mm-hmm.
to focus up. But I feel like most of the time, just me assuming it's just boring running around in circles. But I understand where you're coming from with and I would never ever do a megas high round because
Mm-hmm.
that's not really a high round.
Yeah.
You're walking yourself to a
Yeah, megas are cheese on high rounds. I actually thought megas are terrible, like even with eggs, because all I knew them with were high rounds, and then I started
Right.
trying Easter eggs with megas. I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is so
Yeah.
much
Like
fun.
'cause you're not sitting there grinding points to open up these
Hmm.
doors. You get a gum and you're gone.
Hmm.
Get raindrops, whatever you need, and you're already on your way to the ace strike.
Yeah, it's so nice. And also some other high rounds I'd recommend. These are more difficult, but like I am a BO1 guy. I'm always gonna
Right.
recommend BO1, but I think if you want to learn movement, Kino BO1 Fire Trap is difficult and fun at the same time. And your movement will become like S tier after playing that map. And
Yeah, seeing Glowbox, like when I was there for most of his 236.
really, okay.
Yeah, because I found it interesting, and I also liked like his textures on the map. The zombies with the Adidas tracksuit,
Hmm.
super funny. And then I subbed at the end of his 236 and actually got a tweet from Glowbox, but that's a different topic for later time in this podcast if we ever get there. Um, but I found it like the way he moved his strafes and everything was just incredible, and I wish I had the talent to do that. Obviously, I can't do it with a controller, but I have switched over to PC, mouse and
Hmm.
keyboard. It's a struggle to admit that you are at a disadvantage with the controller, but come to the conclusion that key, mouse and keyboard's pretty sick. The name was-
So you're using mouse and keyboard now?
I am. The past
Wow.
couple of streams, I've changed up. I bought myself a mouse mat. So I used to have like a small mouse pad that would
Hmm.
really cover my desk. Went on Amazon, immediately ordered a mouse mat, and it now covers my entire desk. Bought a new keyboard,
Hmm.
and the mouse that I have was like an actual. I have a Steel Series here. I don't know if I can show it to the camera, but
Okay.
it's a
Okay.
decent mouse. I enjoy
Hmm.
it. And it works for what I need it to do with my two mouse buttons. But I always fumbled around, like messed around with it on my speed runs. Always in the start, because then afterwards, like if I actually got a run going, I didn't want to mess it up. My
Hmm.
terrible movement. Um, but after just taking a little time to practice, it was pretty easy to figure out what to do.
Hmm. So do you think in because I know there's actually a lot of good players that play controller on Easter egg speedruns, like
Right.
you, a whole plays controller.
Hole did play controller. He also moved to mouse and keyboard now, which is he was actually one of the ones that convinced me to do it.
Hmm.
Kingman still plays in controller, obviously. Fantastic speedrunner. He's had a world record on every Cold War map. Again, the machine has the Firebase Z world record, but plays in controller. which is some say it's not a disadvantage because what you can do, you tap to interact,
Mhm.
which is like stops the input delay, but there's still an input delay, and your movement compared to mouse and keyboard is always just going to be worse. So if there's any controller players that are trying to make the switch to mouse and keyboard, I would just say you keep sticking with it and honestly make the switch. It'll be so beneficial for you.
Yeah, I didn't think there was going to be that much advantage with Easter egg speedruns, but I know high rounds, there's definitely a lot of disadvantage with playing
Controller,
controller. Like a lot
yeah.
of people will have issues with insta kill rounds because a lot of them require you like
Yeah,
aiming really well.
watching Zamba do insta kill rounds it's honestly atrocious. Just because he plays he like his because he can't flick with controller. Like
Yeah.
I'm watching him with his Skull Crusher, like move around like he's some 40-year-old who's disabled. Like I mean, it's unbelievable.
He's doing pretty well for somebody with a controller, but compared
Right?
to like keyboard and mouse, yeah,
Yeah.
there's only
You
so
just
much you can do. But it is really interesting though because first room players play with controller. Like all the best first room players play with a controller. And I
they
don't really
also play
understand.
on like insane sensitivity,
Mhm.
so they don't like you don't need to focus on aiming so much as you do your movement. And
Mhm.
the way that having 360 degrees of movement compared to your, 8 directions with mouse and keyboard, you're
Mhm.
like using WASD, it's just so much more beneficial for first room. Because you're not really worried about time playing fast, and you're not really worried about aim. So you can just, it's all focused on can I swerve out of these tight scenarios.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense. But yeah, I used to play controller back in the day when I was on Xbox, and I had a tough ass time switching to keyboard and mouse, man. I
Uh
my aim is still not very good.
huh.
Like I'm
I
sure
mean,
your aim is probably better than mine at this point.
no, no, it can't be. I've been clowning my chat for having bad aim with the mouse and keyboard. But again, I mean, it's only my first week. Give me a break. Give me
Mhm.
a break. Come on,
Yeah. Well, I expect some world records with that mouse and keyboard soon,
they will be
Kooky.
coming in. Don't worry. YouTube videos will be rolling out soon. Once DWC comes up, bam, we're popping up the AE strikes.
All right.
Down.
All right. All right. So, what I know you play a lot of eggs, but what makes an Easter egg enjoyable for you?
Just the fact that I know I can get world record on it. It
Mhm.
doesn't like having something challenging and fun always brings me back. So, just with Rev, it was always a challenge to. There's a step where you have to put Arnie's into
Mhm.
9 different spots in the pack punch room.
Mhm.
And the fastest way to do it is you just throw the 9 Arnie's, even though you have 3, you get 2 max damage for raindrops.
Mhm.
And you have to train around 9 Margwas and not die. So that was
Yeah.
always a super hard challenge. And then hitting tricky shots with, your wonder weapons, like on DE, I have a shot named after me because you have to blankly shoot an arrow at a bonfire that you can't see down at the rocket test, which
Yeah.
I found a faster way to shoot that than, the regular strat of going down into that, like, little double tap room.
Mhm.
Um, I just Kobe'd it, like, I slid jump, shot an arrow from the death ray, and and the first time that we did it, I had, like, an insane reaction. It was in a co-op run. Everyone was, like, so confused and shocked. And I always find, like, doing those fun tricks is just it's always makes eggs replayable.
Okay, yeah, that definitely makes sense. I'm horrible at those kind of things, but I can see why you like them. Like the Arnie step on Rev, I mess that up every
It
time.
is difficult, like, if you don't know, like, how to place your Arnie, because you have, like, no crosshairs to line up yourself with
Mhm.
the hole. So, I mean, you can obviously prone and go right next to the hole, or you could just, throw it and hope that it goes in the hole. Um, but I mean, obviously, I've been playing the map for 3 years, so I have some experience with chucking
Mhm.
an Arnie.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've seen the Kooky shot too.
Yeah.
When
Ushai
somebody
goes crazy.
when somebody gets that perfect like DE bow upgrade shot, like they get all three of them first try, that is
Right.
so fucking
So
clean.
clean. Not even 15 seconds to get all 3 bonfires when it used to take maybe 30 or 40.
Yeah, that
It's crazy how speedruns, like how far they've come, even in the past year. Like I
Hmm.
feel like we've pushed most of our Easter egg barriers to their limits now than they used to be.
Yeah, the difference in maps, like in strategies and times between the start of quarantine and now, it's pretty insane. Like even within like a few months, I think last summer or even when I was playing towards the end of the summer, towards the end of the year, like I was constantly seeing changes and strats and just new things being discovered. Like on SOE, the strat has changed like 5 times in the last year,
Yeah.
just like eliminating restarts in some areas, like with the tram, just Steve jumping outside of the fucking map to see a
How do you
symbol.
yeah, it still amazes, even though like I'm an Easter egg speedrunner, it amazes me how people find these things
Yeah.
to just like these random uh not like out of bounds. Yeah, I'm sorry. Out
Hmm.
of bounds tricks. I mean, and honestly, if quarantine wasn't a thing, I don't think these things would have happened because I feel like
Oh
people,
no.
would be just we wouldn't have enough as much time as we did
Hmm.
to devote to trying to find these strats. I mean,
Yeah,
it,
some of these have had to be like freak accidents. There's no
right.
way that Steve
Yeah,
was
you don't
just
just
like
randomly like, unless he was, like, messing around in the code or, like, no
hmm.
clipping or something. Like, you don't just find this just trying, you know? It had to be, like, a freak accident.
Yeah. I love SOE, man. I love it. That map is so competitive at this point. Like I think it's the most competitive
I think
out
it's
of.
just 'cause it's so welcoming.
Mhm.
Everyone who bought BO3 has played SOE,
Mhm.
so it's something they're used to, and there's no boss fight. There's nothing. It almost it caters to the casual player, which I
Mhm.
think is great for speedrunning because it brings in not like only the hardcore speedrunners, like maps GK, ZNS, things that most casuals won't touch because it was too complex for them. But
Mhm.
SOE is really easy. It's you get a sword, you upgrade it, and you do this flag step, and that's pretty much your Easter egg,
Mhm.
which is obviously easy for casuals to do. Um, pretty much brings anyone in speedrunning.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that ZWC decided to do an
The
SOE
30,
30.
yep.
Yeah. Like 30 speedruns are cool and everything, but when you have a map that's so accessible and linear and there's like pretty much no RNG in it, and you decide to do a 30 speedrun instead of the egg speedrun, I'm a little
Which
disappointed.
they had like even bringing in an Easter egg from Cold War would have been great for the public because again, it's like those two are casual maps. Everyone can
Mhm.
do the Easter egg really simply. But instead they choose two eggs that are very complex and won't cater to most of your audience that you're trying to get,
Mhm.
buy a player pass.
Yeah, so do you think they're trying to actually get like the best of the best players
I
to.
really do. I wonder. I don't know if you're getting the best with 30 speedrunners because I know most top 30 speedrunners only know how to do 30 speedruns. I don't see
Mhm.
most top 30 speedrunners doing egg runs. I don't
Mhm.
see them doing high rounds. I know that Easter egg speedrunners have been doing 30s. I know high rounders do, sometimes do 30s. But you never see like a 30 speedrunner do anything else other than 30s, 50s, 70s.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is interesting.
So I wonder if they maybe just like they could have steered clear with those challenges. Maybe even
Mhm.
throw in like if you threw in an SOE high round, like an SOE 100 speed run,
Mhm.
uh, that would have been fine. Like the high rounds that we have, the Shang, which is a no jug, shouldn't be a no jug, should be
Mhm.
a with jug because people are only gonna be playing safe now. It's not about pushing Shang to its limits. It's about how safe can I play for
Mhm.
the time that I need to. And then the D machine high round, which is I think it's bare bones. So you get I don't know if there's any armor. I know you can't use your specialist. You can't use the support loadouts, so no chopper gunners and all that. It's just gonna be using the ray gun in
Mhm.
training. Um,
So no Ring of Fire or anything?
I
Or
no, I don't think you're allowed to use ring of fire if I'm correct.
are they limiting downs also?
I think you get 3 downs.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, so they're
that's.
trying to make it a BO3 high round. Which I don't know what I'm sure if I check on Cold War Purist high rounds right now, it's a 310.
Mhm.
Don't know if it's gonna be pushed. It could be pushed to maybe like 350, but I don't see it going anywhere after that. that because it's just I feel like you get super sprinters on round what 40? No, not even. Yeah, super sprinters on 40
Yeah,
that
something
are
around there.
outpacing you, so you still have to like camp, but that'll be even more difficult. So I don't know how that's gonna play out. But I'm sure we'll figure out. See.
Yeah. I think as long as people actually participate, as long as people like a lot of people come in and make some competition, I think it should be fine, no matter
Right.
what the challenges are.
Right. We should
Um,
be good.
yeah. I'm still considering if I want to go into ZWC or not. Out of all the challenges, I think the most interesting to me at the moment is the GK Easter egg because I know that map pretty well and I know the strats,
Right.
so I would just need some practice on it and I could do that. And I was thinking about doing the SOE 30. I don't know much about the strat, so I'm still considering that.
I mean, yeah. If you wanted, I actually held the 30 for some time, but
Hmm.
it's a super heavy RNG 30 as well because you need good bug rounds and you need to get the squid.
Hmm.
And you're not guaranteed Xeno matter, let alone the Margwa tentacle. At any at the time that you need it, which is around I think 14, 15.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's all chem cycle. Like, can you get your all chems at a good point in your gum
Hmm.
cycle? And it's a fun. I mean, it's a fun egg. Not a fun egg. A fun 30 if you get the squid. But there's so many games where you just don't get the squid. And to reach
Yeah, okay, never mind about this SOE 30.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not trying to deal with all
No,
that
I
RNG.
mean, yeah, it's incredible. They didn't really cater to your high rounder. I mean,
Mhm.
even the high rounds that we got, like the I mean, if you would you classify first room as a high round? I mean, not
Mm,
like a real high round, but it's a round
ki
challenge.
kind of, yeah, yeah, sure. Because I mean, you are going for the highest round possible.
Right. I mean, we have four. We still need to see the eighth challenge. The eighth
Mhm.
challenge has not been presented yet at the time of recording this, and it's gonna be a Cold War thing, but I don't know if they're trying to do like an outbreak high round.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't know how that'll go down, but I think the high rounders just got gypped out of a good chance at um, competing, and it's a shame.
Yeah, like MC Zombie Slayer is probably one of the biggest like high rounders in the community for a while. One of the
Right.
most popular, and he's played a lot of BO3 maps. He's played everything actually. And I feel like they don't have much that's gonna appeal to him. Like he was really good at D Machine
Yep.
and Firebase Z and all that. And then like you said, the D Machine high round is kind of weird now. And do they even have a Firebase Z high round?
The
Or
Firebase it's a 25 exfil. So it's
ugh.
another speed run. Like we have four speed runs. The 30, the two eggs, and the exfil.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have three round challenges, which they're all not even a normal high round. There's no like it's a no jug.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bare bones, which isn't how Cold War wants you to play their game. And then it's first room, which is on a reimagined map. Well, yeah, no, remastered. Would you call
Uh,
classified a remaster or a remaster?
I don't think it's remaster because it's completely new. So
Yeah,
probably a
there's a difference.
reimagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really weird. I would expect at least one normal high round on a map that a lot of people would like because I feel like high round would be one of the most popular things that people would want to watch. Like they could have picked most pretty much any map on BO3 for a high
I think
round.
an SOE high round would have been better than a
Oh
30.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
because in SOE, like it's a little challenging to do. Like from what I've seen, a
Mhm.
255 on SOE is actually kind of difficult and would bring out the competition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
SOE is really difficult because you only get 2 drops per round, and you're in such a super tight little training spot, and you only have, I think, 9 shots in your apothecon.
right,
So you only have like 9 safety shots, and you're basically using blast furnace and
turned.
no, not turned, because
Oh,
turned is banned, I think, on
oh, because you
SOE.
make the turned army. You get like more
I
a
think it
sword.
Infinite sword, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you just mix between using the sword, blast furnace, and
Fireworks?
fireworks. I think because
Yeah,
Deadwire doesn't make drops on SOE.
right.
So yeah, you only have a couple things you can use, and you're training in a really tight spot, and you can only mess up so many times because you only have a small amount of
Of
apothicon
safety shots.
shots.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that would've been way better than what this 30 is gonna bring. Yeah, I mean, it is really a shame.
Even 100 speed run, because 100 speed run is like what, maybe 3-ish hours, I think, on
Right.
SOE with classics.
Right,
Like I
yeah.
think people would like that more because you actually have to do a full setup and play out a game instead of just, and there's a lot less RNG in 100 speed run or a 70 speed run compared to a 30 speed run or even a 50 speed run.
Right.
Yeah. But so since we're talking about ZWC right now, we can go a little bit more in depth with that. Um, so which challenges do you plan on participating in?
So, I feel like I've made this clear on Twitter, but
Mhm.
Ancient Evil is one of the speedruns that I have co-ops on, and I felt really comfortable trying to do it solo.
Mhm.
And with I have my friend Hayden, super good, really good Ancient Evil speedrunner. Probably the top. He has so much knowledge on that map that I just asked him for a little bit of help. And he gave me his solo strat, and I tried it out in a couple runs, and it is so much faster than current strat is
Mhm.
that I feel like if I'm gonna save it, so like don't no one steal it. Um, but if I end up getting the start that we need, which is like you only have, I think it's a 2 out of 7 or 2 out of 8 chance to
Mhm.
play a start past 2 minutes. If I get one of those challenges, it's a wrap.
Mhm.
I'm getting first place, and then I'm getting ticket to Vegas.
So, is there any other sort of RNG in Ancient Evil past that point, or any like
Uh,
big RNG?
there's not really any big RNG because after you get the challenges to get
Mhm.
your Eternal Flame, it's basically can not screw up.
Mhm.
The next part is hitting oil spills, which you can't really screw up, and then you've got to hit cogs. So can you throw the spear well?
Mhm.
Um, then afterwards, there's sundial where you need to kill electric zombies, which you would think getting electric zombies is RNG. It's not really at the round you're at.
Mhm.
Because catalysts just spawn so frequently. But you need to hit a symbol into location while the sundial's spinning, which can be a little tricky with the whole horde on you. Because you're not trying to kill because you want the zombies to turn into catalyst.
Mhm.
So that's a big part where you could screw up. And then you have Ra's laser beam, which spawns in a Blight Father. You need to make sure that it doesn't get blocked by skeletons, which could obviously kill you. You can
Mhm.
screw up there. And then hit your mark where you get to put on a show for the audience, which is zombies that you have to kill actually.
Mhm.
Obviously screw up there if you're not paying attention, not focusing up. And then it's the boss fight, which is actually a little difficult
Mhm.
because you need to bring down Pegasus 2 times. You've got Perseus throwing fire at you. You've got Blightfather spawning. You got zombies spawning. And bringing down Pegasus in the time of mana is actually difficult, even though you have your wonder weapon. And then the only RNG that I can think of afterwards is will Perseus, teleport down to your island in
Mhm.
one go, which he can. He can go either 1 to 5 times, but it's always usually like 1 or 2 times where he comes down. You really need him to come down that first time because you waste 25 seconds after he doesn't come down. But other than the challenges and Perseus coming down, there's not really that much RNG to
Mhm.
Ancient Evil.
Is it optimized enough where those little bits of RNG besides the restarts matter enough where you can't get world record if this one little thing goes wrong RNG
No,
wise?
I mean not really because there's not like that much game breaking RNG compared to GK where you could
Mhm.
have it's been optimized even these past 2 months by Kingman and Invisible Hole. They brought it down to on Megas a sub 35, which couldn't even have been thought of during the first CWC 3 years ago
Mhm.
when it was like maybe it was a 39 or 38. And it's already been brought down to a 34.59. And it's now every single part has a little bit of RNG to it. You get good Groff modules so you can get a
Mhm.
fast first fly. can drag and come down and breathe on your egg in a timely manner?
Hmm.
Can you get your challenges to work well? Can you hit these quote skips, which is really on your part? It's not RNG. And
Yeah.
then it's can your gum cycle cooperate so you can play in a timely manner? So I'm gonna be excited to see what GK has to offer. But if you when comparing GK to AE, it's AE is just simpler and less RNG ag. See.
Yeah, AE sounds pretty interesting. I might have to take a look at some of your runs and maybe try it because I was expecting to play more than one challenge for ZWC if I do it. So it'd be
Right.
nice to have multiple options. And
And I'll be doing that too. I'll be throwing in a couple SOE 30s. I'll throw in maybe a classified first room. I
mhm,
might try GK, but I don't think there's so many other players that are better than me at GK just because I'm not too well versed in the map and
mhm.
I haven't put in the hours that other people have. But I'm gonna put a lot of my time and effort into getting this AE strike optimized.
Do you know how the qualifying rounds are gonna work? Like how many people are gonna get into?
So first place in every challenge qualifies for the finals. So you have 8 online finalists, and then there's another part of ZWC, which is the ZWI, which basically is just the big YouTubers getting invited. 7
Mhm,
YouTubers are being selected by I don't know if it's the people or if it's just people inside ZWC have chosen these 7 YouTubers, and then there's an eighth content creator that can be voted in by the people. I'm pretty sure and then it's gonna be the 16 finalists competing, um, at the Luxor or, in their home if they're not gonna go to Vegas or if they're, international, aren't allowed to go to Vegas, on from May 14th to May 16th. So, I don't know, is it just gonna be a one-day tournament, or is it gonna be the whole weekend gonna be live streamed?
I would assume, honestly, wait, so if it's a high round challenge, like some of them are high round, like Shang, No Jug, I would assume that it's more than a day because, like,
So the thing about that, I was watching previous ZWC. So in ZWC 2, they did a Shang bare bones high round.
mhm,
So I think it was like no gum. You obviously got perks and all that, but
mhm,
it gave you an hour time limit. And so most of the people played super safe. They did a setup, but I think if it's a 1 day thing, they're only gonna give you an hour time limit. I think you have to understand that you're not playing a high round with a full setup, you've got to start thinking, all right, how do I play this 30-50? But of
mhm.
course, most people back then didn't have the not like they weren't studying the game. And I think the people like the finalists that end up studying how to do these high rounds fast will be the ones that, win at DTC.
Yeah, because if it's an hour, it's just like basically like the same thing as
Dude, yeah,
BO1. It's like a reset speed run. Like you
it's
have a
not a
time.
setup,
Yeah,
right?
you have a certain amount of time and you need to get the highest round possible within that time. It's not about survival whatsoever. It's just about playing fast and not dying at the
Right.
same time. I think that's a weird decision to have only first place from the qualifiers play because I feel like that's a guaranteed win because like it's gonna be the best player out of all the people qualifying playing against most likely a big YouTuber
Mhm.
who generally just does content creation, doesn't play for world records or anything like that. So I feel like the main competition is going to be the qualifiers. Like if you
Just
want
yeah, just
to
amongst those 8 qualifiers. And I think what bugs me is that these YouTubers that are getting invited are getting part of the prize pool. I don't think that's I mean, they can compete, but I don't think that they should be able to get that prize pool because they didn't work for it. They didn't put their money in. They're getting invited to play. And obviously from a business standpoint, you wanna have these big YouTubers so they can um, shout it out to their
Mhm,
followers, be like, "Hey, come watch this ZWC tournament, May 14th, 16 on your live stream platform,
mhm,
wherever it's gonna be live streamed." Um, but they're just getting invited and getting money, like while the rest of us have to put in a 10 or maybe even $20 or $40 deposit, depending on when we sign up for this, and then have a chance. We have to win one of the
yeah.
challenges to even have a chance to go and compete in the finals.
So, are you saying they're getting money even if they don't win the
They are getting the prize pool. So everyone, the top 16, there's gonna be 16 finalists. Everyone in the top 16 will be getting guaranteed $250. First place gets 10 grand, but then everyone, and then obviously it cuts down after every place. And I'm pretty sure 8th through 16th all get $250.
Wait, so wait, how is there are the challenges the same at ZWC as they were for the qualifiers? Like if you won the GK
No,
Exped Oh, okay. I was
no,
confused.
they're gonna be doing different challenges at the finals. Um,
Okay.
so again, I'll backtrack to ZWC two. I don't remember what the challenges were like to qualify, but
Mhm.
they did a Rev first room, which I don't think was there. They did a Shane Barebone tie round. They had a trivia part. Um, although it's cool and entertaining, doesn't
Mhm.
really correlate to zombies gameplay.
Yeah.
And then they did a 4P Ascension 30. Out of no, I don't know anyone who wants to watch a 4P Ascension 30 Classics during a super competitive thing.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember I'm pretty sure they did an Easter egg speedrun, but I don't remember what it was. And I don't remember if it was co-op or not. But I don't think in a tournament standpoint should you have co-op things if you're playing against each other.
Yes, I agree with that. Unless you're gonna have teams win, like if you have teams at the start and the teams are going to be winning like an equal
Right.
amount, then no. If you're having an individual win this tournament, then all the things should be individual because you could have, let's say somebody is playing on a 4P team with somebody who's in the lead, they could throw and play like shit
Right.
just so that person doesn't win because they would
Right.
all be punished for that. So yeah, I don't think co-ops are the move at all for that.
Yeah, unless you were having co-op qualifiers and bringing the team out to Vegas
Mhm.
for for them to compete with each other, you shouldn't have co-ops where all finalists are all individual competitors.
Yeah, so this is better than I thought actually. I was thinking that you would have one winner from each challenge and would play against one content creator in the same challenge in the finals. I was like,
Mm.
"Oh, wouldn't the
Oh
finalist
yeah,
win every time?"
every time. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, so I guess this makes a lot more sense now and
Right.
but yeah, some new challenges to get into should be pretty interesting to watch because I mean I'm definitely not gonna make it. I might try, but I'm not gonna make it. But it should be really
Right.
interesting to watch for sure.
It'll definitely be exciting to
Hmm.
see who ends up making it. I'm sure if I make it, I'll be super pumped. I'll hope everyone will be watching me May 14th, 16th at Luxor.
Of course,
Obviously, if I make it there. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna see a couple familiar faces in the speedrunning community if I end up making it because I have um a good feeling that Hole is going to win the GK Egg Challenge just because he has been playing that map since its release, and
hmm.
he's always been a top competitor on it. And then there's other faces that I've seen. I have a friend Gannon Snipes plays
Oh yeah,
X-Fills.
Ganon's
Yeah,
cracked, dude. Ganon
Gannon
is
absolutely
cracked.
cracked on the X-Files in Cold War in that
Hmm.
25 X-Fill. He's been grinding his ass off offline, and he's been killing the time. So I'm sure I'll see him in Vegas.
Hmm.
And it'll be good. It'll be fun to see.
Yeah, I really thought it would be fun to go. Just at this point in time with the pandemic and everything, like for me, especially since I won't be a qualifier and I won't actually be participating, I don't think it's a good idea for me to go. I can understand like the top 16 or whatever going because
Right.
you're participating,
You
but
should be
having
there. But
extra people come, that's where probably the trouble is going to happen. But
yeah.
also, I mean, that's probably how ZWC and the arena, that's how they're making their money. I'm sure they're going to
Right.
have like merch sales, maybe some food, all that kind of stuff, like entrance fee, everything like
Yeah,
that.
the passes to get in there. And I
Hmm.
mean, they're not selling it at top capacity. I'm pretty sure they're reducing themselves to either 50 or 25%.
Hmm.
But they're still going to be making bank off of the people that, don't really care about the pandemic and are like, "Oh, well, it's over. Go to
Yeah.
go watch some zombies in Vegas."
Yeah.
Can't complain. But I wonder if it like drastically gets worse within next month. I wonder if they're gonna they're gonna delay the finals to maybe July or August. I wouldn't see them do it. But
Um I don't think so because I would assume that since they booked that arena, the arena probably has other plans
Yeah,
for later on this year, like each weekend or each month or something. So I think it'd be difficult for them to just push it. Um,
that's fair. Fair.
yeah, I guess we just gotta hope that things don't get worse and that things like will get better.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope they have another ZWC next year or the year after because I've been talking about it with some homies from the community. Like, we want to meet up, we've been
Right.
friends for a while. We want to meet each other. And this year isn't the best year
It's
for
not the
that.
best. Yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
hopefully next year or the year after, we'll get a chance to do that. So, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if it's a profitable thing, they should just keep doing it every year. I don't know if Sports Talk is losing money on this and he just
Mhm.
wants to do it for the community, or if he's making hella bank off it. Um, but I mean, I'm hoping this is gonna be like an. I hope these next COD games will have a better like as much as I like Cold War for its like casual replayability, it is not a competitive game,
Yeah.
and you cannot, I can play the new map for maybe the first or second week, but afterwards it just gets so burnt out because it's so casual. It's so casual. It's so boring. It has no
Mhm.
competitive, no complexity to it, because it's just getting breastfed to the casual players.
Yeah, Treyarch made a business decision when they made Cold War. They decided that they
Mhm.
were going to make it easy and accessible for everyone. And it worked out because this was probably the biggest launch of zombies ever. Like,
Absolutely.
You had fucking Tifu and all these big
You had
people.
everyone playing Cold
Yeah.
War just because it was so easy to play, to get into,
hmm And
because yeah, no, go on.
yeah, I can respect some of that. Like, I understand making a map where it's easy to get into it, like the setup isn't too complicated. Like nobody's gonna know how to get set up on SOE or ZNS, for example, without some sort of tutorial. So I can understand making it a little bit easier to get set up and more accessible. But the way they did high rounds, where literally anyone could get a 200 or a 300
Yeah,
plus, you can down infinitely. You have chopper gunners, which is basically an in plain sight at any point in time. All the strats are camping. You have infinite ammo. Like, everything all comes together. Like, all these things that would on their own be OP combined together into
right.
this one game, which is probably fun for a lot of people, but for a lot of us in the competitive community, at least for high rounds,
It
it's
ruins the experience.
yeah, like I was really hopeful for the game, and I've talked about this on some other podcast episodes, but I was really hopeful, and I was hoping that Cold War was going to give me something good for the channel, something I would enjoy. But after a week or so, I was burnt out of it already, and I just went
Yeah.
back to BO1.
Because I mean, it's something that we're used to having depth and complexity, because that's
hmm
what were raised off of. And now I feel like the script has been flipped on Call of Duty. It used to be the multiplayer was like for casual people, like anyone could get into it. It was super easy, and zombies was something that only the tough-hearted and people
hmm
who had the will, to like, you know, lose on round 3 or round 4 by getting double swiped,
Yeah.
to then, go to maybe their new high round of 50 or 60, and then for the
hmm
competitive players to get all the way to the 200s, in a game that didn't even, think that you get past 163, getting insta-kill rounds. They were just so lazy in the coding.
hmm
It's incredible, and then we come to Cold War, and it seems like the multiplayer is catered to the super competitive, want to sweat my ass off every single game, skill based matchmaking,
hmm
and the zombies is for a easy experience that any casual can hop on, get
Yeah,
round 300.
that's really weird. I never thought about it that way. But yeah, usually, you would go into multiplayer and if you were a new player, you'd get shit on. I mean, and
Right.
that's how you improve. Or I mean, it was available for everyone. Like, casuals could go in and they would get shit on, but they would eventually get better and they would
And they would also, yeah, then they would play people who just got the game, and then they
mhm.
would shit on the new
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah, and everybody could play it. And now with skill-based matchmaking, if you're good at the game, you're gonna need to sweat your ass off. And if you're bad
Yeah.
at the game, you're gonna be playing people with the
You're
same
still gonna
skill
be
as you.
bad. Yeah, you're still going to be bad.
Yeah, like how are you supposed to improve if you're playing people the same skill level as you the whole
Right,
time?
right.
Yeah, and it's just I like the multiplayer a lot. I haven't played it in a while, but I was definitely into it. I like the mechanics and stuff, but it was
Yeah.
hard. It was very hard for me, and I had to sweat and pay attention a lot. And that's basically how I am on like playing BO1 zombies or BO2
Mhm.
zombies or BO3. Was completely opposite of Cold War zombies. So.
Yeah, that's always what like whenever I was, in a drought of speedruns where I wasn't getting RNG and I was getting pissed, I'd hop into like a BO3 lobby, put my VMP class on and melt kids just to feel better. And
Yeah.
now, if I went to Cold War and did the quote simulator, which is, basically all the maps now. I remember seeing this video before Cold War, only 2% of people were able to complete an Easter egg without watching a guide on YouTube. From a poll.
Hmm.
And so that's what um, Activision like took in. They said, "Well, let's make it so anyone at any point can do it." And now it's like not speedrunnable because
Hmm.
most of the time it's just quotes telling you what to do or just talking about some story that doesn't really have anything of action that you're doing,
Yeah.
which has ruined Easter egg speedrunning for most people. I know there's some people that are thriving off it. Again, Kingman's been thriving off of it.
Hmm.
Steve is doing it. Earthamon, um, all great guys. All great speedrunners. But comparing Cold War speedruns to BO3 speedruns, just you put BO3 on such a higher shelf
Hmm.
compared to Cold War just because of how complex every strat is to listening to the quote and then going over here because the person told you.
Hmm. Yeah, I think if they found some sort of hybrid between, like, even within BO3, because BO3 is very complex at some points, like with GK or maybe Rev, and then at some points within BO3, it's very simple. Like, SOE can be difficult at times, but it's very linear and predictable, and it's not too complex. So if they could find some sort of hybrid in between those, then or even like SOE level of difficulty and
Right.
complexity, I think it would be better for us. But for the
Which I
majority of people, though, I don't think that they would enjoy it as much as we do.
which I think they try to do with BO4 because whenever I speedrun, I'm hearing quotes from. I mean, in Ancient Evil, you hear quotes from the Oracle tell you, imply things that you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like straight up given to you, and then you just have to go and find them.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, just the BO4 system to most people is horrendous. You can't really keep playing the game without getting off of it in anger.
Yeah, it's tough to satisfy everyone, honestly. I feel like
Right.
no matter what they do, they're gonna get shit on by some part of the community. But with business wise, I think.
You want to keep your majority happy, which is the casuals, which
Mm-hmm.
is exactly what they've done. And I'm sure Cold War has been really profitable compared to the last couple CODs, except for maybe Modern Warzone.
Mm-hmm.
Super profitable and just keeps going on. Which I'm pretty sure like the new Warzone update isn't even going to be playable on PS4 because it takes more than 500 gigs. I can't even believe that 500 gigabytes
Really?
for one game. Like
That's
that just doesn't.
terrible.
That's so bad. You're forcing probably 30 or 40% of your community to get a newer system, which maybe they
Hmm.
don't have the money for,
Yeah.
to continue to play your game, which, I mean, I don't know if it's just because you have so much to add to Warzone. It's a battle royale on a big map. But, enough of me battle
I
royale.
I don't know what they could possibly have in there to make it like have so many gigabytes. I don't get it, man. Like all the
Yeah,
previous games were a lot. Like I thought BO3 was a lot. I think it's like 130 gigabytes on PC, and
yeah.
then the 500, bro.
I 500. I mean, must be just because the map is big. But I mean, you look at Fortnite, which is the first super popular battle royale, huge
Hmm.
map. It's undergone a bunch of changes, which probably has, a bunch of storage on it, but it's only maybe 200 gigs. So I
Mhm.
don't know where Warzone is getting these extra 300 gigs.
Yeah, I really don't know, man. Okay, I think that'll bring us into our next topic, which is Kooky. What do you think the best game for Easter egg speedrunning is?
So I personally think that BO3 is one of the greatest games to speedrun.
Mm-hmm.
It's just every single map has so much depth and complexity to it. SOE brings in the casual replayability perspective for anyone who wants to start speedrunning. Hop onto SOE. Super simple. It's easy. You play through rounds. You do what you usually do on a high round, anyways. You get the sword, you upgrade it, and then you do this one extra step. DE is also a super simple egg. Everyone loves the map. You get the storm bow, which is surprisingly the best bow, and it's also the fastest one to make.
Mm-hmm.
It has two simple steps to it. You do Simon Says, get kills like it's for the keeper soul box. ZNS is one of the more complex ones and caters to the competitive part.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of it's not really a do this do that. It's a you get 3 cogs which have their own difficulty of getting. You have to,
Mm-hmm.
shoot a plane out from a bullet that you get from a plant. Like, how do you just come up with these things,
Yeah.
in 2015? And then GK, another fan favorite. We love dragons. Super complex,
Mm-hmm.
has a big, 6 challenges you have to do. Um and then Rev, obviously my favorite. It brings a bunch of maps together. Although it's a little hated, compared to every other BO map, I still find it the best speed runs. Just because of how many tricks you can implement.
Mm-hmm.
You can shoot bones from Nocturne and Toad, which no one thought was possible. You can insta kill Margwas. You can, you know, throw a summoning key like it's a basketball.
Yeah.
Super fun things that you can do with it. So that's probably one of the best ones. My second best would probably be IW.
Really?
Again,
Okay.
hasn't been, positively it doesn't have so much positivity to it just because I think YouTubers just smacked it down before it could get a chance to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but its Easter eggs have super easy replayability. It's super fun. The aesthetics of the game are just so like so artistic. And such beautiful maps. It's all fun. They bring in famous actors because it's a movie scene. Each
Mm-hmm.
map is its own movie scene, which you don't get from the Ether storyline. Ether storyline is just some serious novel you could even write. Like if they made a book on the Ether storyline, which I know like they made the Chronorium,
Mm-hmm.
um, but I'm sure you can like make a real novel of like maybe the perspective of Richtofen or Maxis. Like Samantha Maxis, which would definitely be profitable. But IW was something where they were like, let's make some fun movies, and they did that, and it made super fun Easter eggs, which would transition to the next map beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
And then after you complete all the maps, you get to this thing called director's cut, which makes you super OP except for when you're in the super end boss fight against the devil or Mephistopheles.
Mm-hmm.
It's something no one could ever think of, and it's still one of the best bosses to this day. IW is just one of the better games for speedrunning. And then, the rest of it, BO2, BO4, and Cold War. If I had to rank all three of those together, I would put BO4 first just because the amount of maps that you can play
Mm-hmm.
as of right now. Ancient Evil, again, one of the better speedruns. You got things like Blood of the Dead, even though people don't, really like the map, it's a decent speed run just because there's not much RNG to it. Dead of
Mm-hmm.
the Night, again, people don't like the map. Doesn't have RNG to it though, and it is actually very entertaining. And then you have like Tagged or Toad, Call of the Dead Reimagined, Call of the Dead, one of a favorite, a fan favorite map, with a longer speed run, and just the amount of maps they have compared to BO2 or Cold War. And then I would put BO2 fourth and then Cold War last just because if these next 3 maps from Cold War are catered to maybe some competitive Easter egg,
Mhm.
I'm sure we could see Bulwer bump up on the list. And then BO2, I just don't have too much knowledge on BO2 right now. I speed ran BO2 Origins, maybe mid-summer of 2020. And I didn't play it for too long, so I
Mhm.
don't have. I was running a little bit of Buried, and then
Okay. Okay.
the team disbanded just because the current world record holders got a faster time.
Mhm.
They saw me streaming it, and they were like, "Oh, we can't let you guys have it. This is our territory."
Yeah.
So then they get a faster time, and it's like, "All right, cool, let's just quit." And then I will be doing some mob speedruns soon, so check out that.
Solo or co-op on mob?
Co-op, doing 2P, 3P. I don't think 4P. 4P is very optimized.
Mhm.
If you want to watch a good video, a good BO2 speedrun, I would check out Mob 4.
Okay. Okay, I will.
But that is my game EE speedrun tier list.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, out of those games, the only ones that I've done Easter eggs on are BO3 and BO2. But from like everything that I've heard, I would definitely say that BO3
Is
is the
the
best. Yeah. Like I came into it as a casual essentially with no knowledge. Well, I had the speedrun mindset, but I didn't know anything.
Mhm.
So, I was able to pick up on the eggs even though they were difficult and I had one of the best speedrunners. I had Mikey in my chat always helping me out. Yeah, it was great to learn and then at the competitive level when I got better, I wasn't world record level, but I was better.
Right,
It was super fun to play too. And if I got bored of one map, there was always something else that I could play that offered the completely opposite experience. If I was playing SOE and I got tired of it, maybe I'll move over to GK or I'll go try to learn Rev a little bit more. And
right,
yeah, and then there's you can play no gums or classics, basically the same thing most of the time, or
right
you
there.
can play megas. They both have their own like benefits. Megas, it's a lot faster, and the setup of the Easter egg is usually easier with points and perks and all that stuff. And no gums and classics can definitely be a challenge because you have to play a lot of the egg with no jug in some of them. So that's always fun to do.
Yeah, I didn't even get into the gums for BO3 because again, BO3 is just so complex.
Hmm.
Um, obviously have your classics and no gums where you're point building for most of the time, just because if you have megas, you use shopping free or raindrops. You just
Hmm.
get on the map, and you go. But there's that retro aspect of maybe you're just using classic gums or not even using gums at all, and you have to go back to your old ways, like on BO2 where you have to point for it
Hmm.
to open up the map, and it brings a different dynamic than you would if you played megas where you're going for the fastest time possible and you don't have to worry about getting enough money for perks because you just get a perkaholic as a gum,
Hmm.
or do I have enough money to buy this store? You just have extra credit pop. Um, so, if you're someone who likes the BO1, BO2 Easter egg, perspective, then go play no gums or classic gums. But if you're someone that really wants to push a map to its limits and see how fast you can actually play it, then get on megas or even what Zero is calling any percent where you use round robin.
Hmm.
To just because there's every single egg always has like some round, you have to flip rounds. So you just pop a round robin, you're on the next one, you're good to go. You don't waste time.
Yeah, BO3 honestly has everything, man.
Mhm.
It's
It's
such a
hard
good
to beat a
game.
system. It's hard to beat a system as good as BO3, and other games have tried it. Like with IW, you have the card system,
Hmm.
where you fill up your meter by killing zombies, buying doors, buying guns, whatever, and then you get to use your card. Now, I would say every like BO3 gums, the way that they did it with the classics and the megas is the best system that we've seen so far. The fortune cards and the fate cards that you see in IW just don't have that same punch as the gums do. And then we saw BO4 try and use elixirs, do the same thing as BO3. But the fun thing about BO3 is that you can save your gumballs if you close app or your dashboard or whatever you say. But on BO4, you don't get to keep them. And the way of getting your elixirs on BO4 is just such a worse way than it was
Hmm.
on BO3 with your liquid divinity. You get maybe two per game. And if you get a perkaholic, you keep it forever. But on BO4, you get one plasma every 3 minutes. You're in the game.
Mhm.
So, buying a door or something won't matter. Like you could sit around and train on round one of the first room for 8 hours, and you maybe get what is that, 160 plasma, which gets you 3 spins on to maybe get a perkaholic.
3 spins?
3 spin, like each spin is 40 plasma.
Oh
And you
god.
get a plasma every 3 minutes. That's just like you get no plasma, you get no elixir. So everyone always uses classic.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, I think for I like how on BO4 you don't have to spin the gum machine.
you can just choose what you want. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
that's a that is a better. It brings in less RNG, but I think that's the fun of some of the BO3 speedruns, is getting that good gum cycle on a good run.
Mhm.
Like you can't replace that euphoria with anything else speedrunning wise, I would say.
Yeah. I definitely understand that, you spin that gum machine hoping for that gum that you want. You want that raindrops and then you see it and you're on that good run already and you're like, "Oh shit, this is
Yeah,
the
and then you
run."
start freaking out, adrenaline's pumping, you're shaking, you
Mhm.
start choking the run. You don't choke, you go record.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think for Easter egg speedruns, it would go ranking from best to worst. I think it would be gums, elixirs, and cards. But since I'm a high rounder mostly, I think that honestly the gums are so OP. Like even
Oh, yeah. Yes.
classics you have Alchem and
All come in a
in
high
plain
round.
sight.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Super OP. Super OP.
Yeah, Alchem is essentially it should be a mega, and in plain sight is also super OP.
Which
I
is what
th-
they did.
mhm,
They correctly did that in BO4. They made Alchem a mega elixir.
mhm,
You don't get to keep those, so you need to be wisely in high game. But I mean, on BO3, you get an Allchem, two activations for 60 seconds. So basically, you're invincible for you're invincible for 60 seconds because you're just
mhm.
shooting your water weapon forever.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy with that. And I think that cards might be a little bit too weak. Like the cards for high
Yes.
rounds, they're cool and they definitely add to the game. But I was talking to Stealth, who plays a lot of IW high rounds, and he said that they're mostly just useful for the setup,
Hmm.
not super useful for the high rounds. So I
No,
think
you've
that
never used cards
Alex,
for high round. I
yeah.
mean, I've done a little bit of setups on IW because one of the games I wanted to high round, but never really got into it. Other speedruns. And those cards after maybe 20,
Hmm.
25 are useless. They don't matter.
Yeah, I think the elixirs find a nice balance in between gums and cards for high rounds at least. Yeah, I like the elixirs. I haven't played much BO4, but just from what I know, it seems like they're a good addition to the game. They're not too OP, they're not too useless, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, they're decent on high rounds. On speed runs, you usually get to use the elixir once, maybe
Hmm.
twice if you're lucky.
Okay.
Just because their cooldowns are like just so long compared
Hmm.
to everything.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense. So for I guess for speed runs, gums are the best, and for high rounds,
Yeah, gums, cards, elixirs, and
hmm,
then high rounds it goes gums. Or
okay.
would you say, well, just because, yeah, gums are.
Yeah. Can you move your mic a little bit closer to your face? It cuts out every so often, but there we go.
Yeah, my bad. Here we go.
You're
That
good.
better? All right.
Yes, I think so, my dude. All right. And then I think that'll get us into our next topic, which is Easter egg speedrun reaction. So this is a big topic in the zombies community because we have a lot of small content creators, speedrunners. Like we got Kooky, Kingman, Bull, Hole, everybody. They're doing their Easter egg speedruns and they get these world records. Then we have bigger YouTubers like Noah J does it very often. The Smith Plays would do it. And basically they will get hundreds of thousands of views on a video of someone else doing a speed run, and yes, the smaller creator will get some recognition from it, but these big creators are probably making hundreds of dollars off of someone else's run. So how do you feel about this, Kooky? Because I know you've had a good amount of runs reacted
So
to.
I've had I think a total of four, either
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 runs of mine have been reacted to. And it's not just hundreds, Mike, it's thousands. I've done the math because I ended up getting a YouTube partner with
Mm-hmm.
reactions because I went from 300 subscribers to 6,000, which I can't be more appreciative. And
Mm-hmm.
again, I thank each and every one of you that subscribes, hits the button, for notifications when I upload my next video. Kidding. Um, but I did the math and I saw how much money I was getting per view, and I
Mm-hmm.
multiplied that to one of my reactions by Noah J or the Smith Plays, and I looked at it and I looked at it in shock.
Mm-hmm.
I was in disbelief. I was like, "You're just making bank off of sitting there with your face cam." Like, "Oh my god, he did that?" Um, but I mean, as much as I want to hate and slander on it, you really can't, because that's their job. Their
Mm-hmm.
job is to make enjoyable content, and people like speedruns. Can they do the speedruns? No, of course they can't, because they don't put the time into it. They're
Mm-hmm.
too busy doing things like their second channel or ideas for their first channel, and they're like, you know what? What's an easy cash grab? Reactions.
Mm-hmm.
So they get on, they see a speedrun world record, they react to it, but I think there's a point in time where you milk a reaction too much. And I think that's what Noah has done. Noah has created it to where it has almost ruined most speedruns. Like the SOE speedrun was milked way too
Oh
far
my
out of its capacity. And now every single shadow speedrun that you see has hundreds or thousands of comments. Oh my god, Noah's gonna be pissed, man. Damn it. Like, no, he's not pissed because he just made another $3,000 from that. I mean, and it's the same with Cold War. And
Mm-hmm.
I think what gets me more angry um than Noah reacting is the hypocrisy that some speedrunners have. They are out here, they're saying, like, they're angry that Noah's speedrunning and not giving the credit.
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking about how speedruns used to not be for reactions, but for world records. And then you see these world record runs that are catered to a reactor, like a reactor.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You see intros and they're like, you shouldn't have an intro on your speedrun.
Mm-hmm.
You should just have the speedrun.
Yeah.
Um, and then it's like, oh my god, Noah comments, don't do that. Like, you're gonna get Noah comments. Just just accept it and wear it with pride. Put it
Mm-hmm.
on your shirt. Say, I get comments from Noah J fans. You
Yeah.
know? Don't be like, oh my god, please stop saying that. And then make a video for people to say that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, from the outside perspective, it seems like these reactions are very beneficial, because I know Kingman like skyrocketed from a couple
yes, boosted. He was at I like when
3K or
I
something.
yeah, 3K. I passed him. I had 300 to 6K,
Mm-hmm.
within a couple weeks from my D machine speed runs. Him gets on Firebase Z, continues to improve his record. Noah continues to react to him, and he's bumped up to, I'm pretty
16K or
sure,
something now.
16K
It's
from
insane.
3K. 13,000 people have seen him from Noah J, and they were like, "Yeah, this guy is cool. Let me go sub to him." And I mean, it's something that he wants to do. He wants to be a YouTuber. He's got a lot of content creation aspirations, and
Mm-hmm.
that's completely fine with him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I mean, good for him. Congrats to keep going at it, keep improving his record, keep getting those reactions, keep getting your bag while Noah gets his bag.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to see, like, is there a balance? Like, obviously the stuff that Noah's gonna get is gonna be more than what you guys are gonna get because you
It'll
guys put
always be
in
more. Yep.
hundreds of hours into a single map to get a world record, and he reacts to it for what, like maybe 30 minutes, and he manages to get thousands of dollars from it when you'll get maybe a couple hundred subs from that one video that you put in hundreds of hours for, and maybe a couple dollars if you're
Yeah,
in the
maybe
YouTube
3, 4
partner,
bucks.
if you're
Yeah,
in the
it's
partner program. Like it's it, I guess maybe it's proportional, for
but you
your
know what?
size, but
You know what I will say
mhm,
is I've 100% grown off it, and I've 100% made a profit off of what I used to do.
mhm.
I feel like what some people struggle with is that they get the reaction and they can't withhold the people that come to their channel.
Yes,
I
yes.
used to average, 2, 3 viewers before I get a reaction. I start streaming and there's 20 people in there and I
Mhm,
love talking to them. And then there's some people that get reacted to, and they just don't they're not able to harness what
mhm.
they have, like, right then and there. You have to act quickly with those things,
Yeah.
or else the reaction is pretty much pointless on your end, and it's only profitable for, the big YouTuber.
Mhm,
So, you can't really complain about him reacting to you and you getting no benefit if you didn't do anything to act on that benefit.
mhm.
So then it just becomes a you problem.
Yeah, a lot of the shout outs, so it's a thing with Twitch anyway, like you can get the viewers there at the start, like with a raid or with a shout out, or if Twitch promotes your stream with that new channel points feature. But it's all up to you after they're there to maintain them because you
Yeah, to keep them
need
there.
to talk to them, you need to engage them, and if you don't, they're going to be gone and chances are they will never come back. So you have this small window of opportunity that you're going to get like maybe right after the reaction, and you need to take advantage of that. Otherwise, it's all for nothing, and Noah's making thousands of dollars and you maybe gain 10 followers and maybe a
Yep.
couple people that are going to watch you consistently again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Twitch is hard, man. Twitch
It
is
it
fucking
is.
hard.
It's difficult to, like, put on, your happy expressions and go in, and be energetic for 3, 4 hours at a
Mhm.
time. There's some days where, I'm just having a shitty day, and I can't keep up, a happy energy, and if I turn on my stream, I know I'm just gonna do poorly just because I can't be as energetic as I wanna be usually on a stream, and I just end early, which, it's my fault for starting it. But if you're gonna have it's hard to um not stream when you're having those days because you feel like the stream people coming in, you'd be more happy. But there's
Mhm.
just days where you can't um put on what people want to see.
Yeah, every so often, I'm like really excited to stream, but when I actually get into the stream, I'm just not feeling it at all.
Yep.
And,
Yep. Absolutely.
like I'm not the kind of guy that's super energetic. I'm more of like the chill, I'll talk to you, let's have a conversation, let's
Right.
listen to music, enjoy the gameplay, vibe out, all that kind of stuff. But
Mhm.
some days I'm just like not feeling it at all, and I want to stream and I don't want to stream at the same time. And then like let's say I take a look at the viewer count and I notice that, well, I know that I'm not being as engaging as usual, and I could see that the viewer count is slowly dropping and all that
Mhm.
stuff. And then all those things combine into just like a negative mindset, and it makes you
And
into
it's
like,
just a yeah, it's just a forced end stream right there. It's like, yep, sorry guys, I end the stream.
yeah, it's tough, but I love Twitch, man. I love streaming.
Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship sometimes, You hate when you have those bad days, but you love it for the most part because
Hmm.
there are a bunch of days where you get on stream, you get people like your stream is popping, you're having a good time.
Hmm.
And that's what you're looking for every single day. And even though you can't get it, the days that you do get it, it is the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, it really is, man. Now that we're talking about Twitch, how long have you been streaming? Because I know you started Rev in like 2017, speedrunning Rev.
So yeah, I started streaming. Actually, ZWC1 is the first time I got into streaming. I didn't know what to do before. I mean, I was maybe 13, 14. So I got my mom's laptop, brought in OBS, brought in a timer, and
Hmm.
I started streaming out of nowhere. Probably had no audio, probably no one was watching. Um, and then started doing I played Fortnite. I know, oh my god, he played Fortnite, what a bum. But I streamed Fortnite for, the year and a half that it was super popular. And then I went back to speedrunning mid 2019 when the game died. Like when Fortnite died, not BO3. BO3 is still alive in the speedrunning community. But I speedrun Rev again, and on my unbeatable 2632, I had no one in that stream
Mhm.
except for one person that came in the end, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this person showed up to see me absolutely crush this WR." So I guess I would say that's when I started. It was like mid 2019, and
Mhm.
I I tried to push myself every day in 2020 over quarantine to start a live stream, to get people in here, to get people popping. I feel like I jumped up a bunch of viewers when I started IW because no one saw IW for the light of day.
Mhm.
Quarantine comes around, me and the Frog Mob are absolutely killing it on IW, and I'm averaging now 20 to 25 viewers, and I wasn't aware. I was like, what the heck? How did
Mhm.
all these people just like show up? And then obviously I get the reaction in August, and ever since then I've been crushing it on Twitch. I
Oh
feel like.
yeah. Yeah, I think I found you somewhere around the time of the Super Egg speedruns when those were big.
Mhm.
Cause I never, oh, I saw you in chats and stuff. I think you
Right.
were you like Clonky or did you have a different name before?
No,
Yeah.
that was me. Well,
Yeah.
okay, so before that, it was Corona Kooky because it was a meme on like I had a name change when the coronavirus started.
Hmm.
Actually around this time, and I was like, all right, what's funny with my name and Corona Kooky? That was it. So that was my name for a couple months, and then some guy in chat basically stole my name. It was like Corona, I think like Corona Cosmical or something.
Hmm.
And I was pissed. I was like, "Dude, what the fuck? Why would you steal my name?" So I had to change it to something, and I'm like, "Wow, what can I change it to?" And there was a point in time where me and the boys were just clowning on like some dumb world records that we didn't want on our mains, like our main accounts on Theodore, because we wanted to look professional. Serious site, need to look professional.
Yeah.
And my alt name was Clonky BJV2. And I'm like, all right, well, we can't have the BJ part. We can't have the V2 part. Let's just put Clonky.
Hmm.
And so that was my name. And then Clonky wasn't really kooky. So I was like, Kooky SR it is. And now we're sticking with the Kooky SR for as long as I can.
Yeah, I think I met. Well, I first started seeing you in Yoma's chat, I think, as
Mm.
Clonky, and I know Mikey talked about you like saying like, "Oh, Kookie's cracked." I'm like, "Who the fuck is Kookie?" And
Oh, he's just yeah.
yeah, and I kept seeing Clonky, and I was like, "Wait, is Kookie the same as Clonky?" And then you changed your name, and I ended up following you at
Yep.
that point, I think. And then you would just like were popping like I
I
think
yeah.
you were popping like I think after when I followed you maybe you had like 30 or so viewers and then like within a few days you ended up having like 60, 70, 80.
Yeah, we
I was,
doubled up. It was a great like August and September were one of my better Twitch months.
mhm.
Just because it was right after the reaction. Super eggs were popping, so I'm like, all right, let's do this super egg thing. And bing bada boom, we skyrocketed in average viewers. I mean, it was just a great 2 months for me.
Yeah, man. Last year was a fucking awful year, but on Twitch it was or Twitch YouTube it was a fucking great year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a huge year for me too, because I think towards the start of the year I hit 1,000 followers. And it took me before that about a year and a half to get to 1,000 followers because the zombies community was kind of dead, and I played BO1 and BO2 mostly when the top of the category was like 10, 15 viewers. So gaining followers was really difficult. Having a high average viewers was difficult too. And it was just like unheard of to have more than 20 viewers at a time. So I was slowly growing. And then I took some time off because of school and baseball. And I ended up coming back towards the end of 2019, like trying to go hard again during Christmas break. And then January came along, and then we ended up having COVID. And I made a decision there. I was like, you know what? I'm here every day. Fuck it. I'm going to do daily streams. Every day after school, I'm going to stream for a couple hours and I'm going to see what happens. And I ended up like hitting 1,000 followers around that time. And then I got into Origins Easter egg speedruns. and I was averaging like 40 to 50 viewers at that time. From before last year, like
Mhm.
2019, I was averaging maybe like 5 to 10, somewhere around there. Then it went to 20, and then the speedruns, like I'm talking about, went to around 50. And then quarantine just kept going, and I was growing, and it was a great year. And now, like, everything has cooled off a little bit because I had some burnout. I've switched games a few times, like from high rounds to Easter egg speedruns back to high rounds.
Yeah.
And now I have like 4.5K followers and a really nice viewer base that I can rely on consistently to come hang out with me. So last
Yeah,
year
I
was
honestly, yeah,
great, man.
2020 I think it's a blessing in disguise. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it maybe stayed for too long. It
Yes.
it was definitely like the first, I'd say 4 or 5 months of quarantine was absolutely popping for everyone on Twitch because no one was doing anything else. But I
Mhm.
think we've just gotten to the point where it's too long, and we're ready to take breaks,
Mhm.
or we're not allowed to do anything else during these breaks.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, do I want to sit in my room and do nothing, or do I want to sit in my room and stream? And usually the latter. The answer is the latter. And then people show up, and even though they're there, do they maybe want to be there 100% of the time? No, they want to be doing something else, but they can't.
Mhm.
But I mean, those first couple of months in quarantine, absolutely great for everyone on Twitch.
Yeah, it was amazing until about August. August was okay, but
Mhm.
September I feel like everybody
Everyone was
died.
done. Yep, everyone was done.
Everyone was excited for Cold War, and there we were in that final stretch, like between September and October, that final stretch before Cold War, and we're like, all right, we only have a month or two left, and then we're gonna have a new game, new content, everything. And then we pushed everything out as far as possible, stretched our content. And then there's just a month or so before Cold War. It's just like, what do I do now? What am I supposed to do? And I was just waiting for Cold War to come out, and I know a lot of people were excited for it. And like the people that were like getting a lot of viewers from Easter egg speedruns started to not die out, but lose viewership a little bit. And then Cold War came out, and a lot of the BO3 runners like lost a lot of viewership because they're playing a new
Mhm.
game, a big game, or they decided to go back to BO3, and not that many people were watching anymore.
Yep, they wanted to watch Cold War 'cause it's the new thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just hard. It was again, since Cold War is so casual, it's hard for diehard fans to go from such a competitive game like Black Ops 3 to
Mm-hmm.
a super casual like Cold War, and so that's why probably most Easter egg speedrunners just died off in viewers just because they
Mm-hmm.
couldn't play. Like when you play something so competitive, it's hard to do something casual.
Yeah.
And the algorithm that they have right now for Cold War is let's release the map, let's not bring out the Easter egg yet, and so most Easter egg players won't like they'll play the map for the first time just to understand the layout,
Mm-hmm.
and then wait for the Easter egg to come out, and the Easter egg is solved within 2 hours every time.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing special to it, um, and it dies off too quickly for the competitive players, and so that's why their viewers fall off because everyone wants to see more Cold War, but there's not more Cold War content to give out unless you
Mm-hmm.
are extremely lucky.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the runners just haven't been playing. The only people I've seen are you, Kingman, and Earthamon, really, from the OG speedrunning community that I was friends
Yeah,
with before Cold War. Like
yeah.
Mikey, Bull, Hole, like a bunch of all the other BO3 egg runners just haven't been enjoying Cold War, I don't think, and just been burnt out.
Yeah, I think I'm playing it just because I want to say that I had been one of the best players of every single game at one point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So having a world record for a second, I can say that.
Yeah.
Have I been playing a lot of Firebase E recently? I don't think so. I don't think I haven't been playing for the past couple of days, but that might just be because I'm really focused on ZWC.
Mm-hmm.
It might be just because I'm burnt out and Kim got a really good run. And it might just be because there's no more content for me there.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you the definite answer right now, but I'm sure maybe, in a month or two when the new map comes out, I might, take a break from my straight grind of ZWC to go play the new Cold War. But do I
Mhm.
see myself playing Firebase C as a grind again? Probably not.
Yeah. So, what are your future plans for Twitch? Let's say, um, after the next DLC map comes out and after you're done grinding that, what do you think you're gonna be doing in the future on Twitch?
Well, honestly, I'm just gonna be, doing Easter egg speedruns on whatever map I find enjoyable.
Mhm.
And recently it's been BO4. I feel like I wasn't really there for the launch of BO4. I, wasn't there to see all of the hate that it got just because of the, its system, which I don't think it's a great system. I don't think it's as bad as everyone makes it to be.
Mhm.
I think some maps are fun on it. And it takes some time to getting used to, obviously. And I feel like since some people like who played Black Ops 3 were waiting 3 years and got this meh,
Mhm.
they didn't like it as much. But since I'm getting Cold War right now, I
Mhm.
enjoy BO4 more than I probably would have.
Yeah.
But where do I see myself after this next DLC map? Probably playing, maybe some BO2. I haven't done enough BO2 to say that it's a bad game
Mhm.
like for me personally. So, maybe I do BO2, maybe I even go to BO1. Maybe I stop doing Easter eggs, maybe I do, the Kino high round. Maybe take your suggestions. Maybe um, it's really just whatever I'm finding fun at the time, I'll stream it, and I'm sure people will come in,
Mhm.
for me and not just for the game. At least that's what I hope.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly think you're right there. People are gonna come in because, you're an entertaining dude. You always got some energy, and you're
Thank you,
pretty
then.
much good at every game you play. So a combination of good gameplay and a streamer that's gonna want to talk to you, that's a good combination. And people that
Right.
already watch you are gonna keep coming back. And I'm sure they're gonna be new people coming in. So
Thank you, I appreciate that.
as I got you. I got you. Especially since now you're in Obey Undead.
Oh, we're getting to the next topic. Oh my god,
Yes.
obey undead. Oh my.
Yeah, so now you're instead of just Kooky, now you're Obey Kooky, man. Congratulations on making it into the top
Thank you.
10.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's just because 'cause I'm such a fantastic person. No,
Yes.
I'm
Yeah. What made you
um,
decide to go for Obey Undead?
I'll be honest, I was bored. I didn't really
Mhm.
know what to do. I see, this org thing, which was a fantasy to be an organization when I was playing Fortnite, and
Mhm.
now there's an organization coming to zombies. I'm like, sure, you know what? Why don't I just try out for it? Um, and it's, with one of my, uh, one of the friends in the zombies community, Greg FPS, is one of the co-owners of Obey Undead. So I'm like, all
Mhm.
right, cool. I know one of the owners. I'm chill with him. I have maybe a better shot than most people. Why don't we just give this thing a try? So I made the first RC. As a, like, it was almost. I felt like it was a meme. Like when I posted, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna suck. Everyone's gonna think it's a joke." Next thing you know, I'm in the top 50. I'm like, "What?"
Uh-huh.
And then I make my second submission, get left out of the top 25 because I'm pretty sure I was picked so early
Uh-huh.
that they just forgot to, announce me. Made it a top 26 just for me. Oh my god, thank you so much. And then made the third RC. I was pretty confident. It was just on FBZ when you dropped out. It was a shame to see you drop out, Mike, because I feel like you would have been one of the top 10 if you just kept grinding. But you
Mhm.
know what? It was a personal decision. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna respect it because that's what you should do. But I was like, you know what? Let's bring this thing to a close. Made the third RC, and then next thing I know, I get a DM from Greg a couple days before I'm announced. He's like, "Yeah, you're in, buddy. Just keep it down low until we announce you." And then I'm on a flight to Florida, and I see my phone blow up. I'm like, "Oh my god, did I do it?" And I see me on the Oband on Twitter. Welcome Kooky SR. And I'm like, you know what?
Mhm.
This is it. This is a new chapter in my career. Let's try this thing out. It's been good so far.
Yeah, have you guys done anything or have you talked about plans for the future with the team yet?
So we've been in one or two calls. The first call was to do like an introduction video, which has been released on the
Mhm.
Obey YouTube.
Yeah, I watched
If you
that.
want to go see that, yeah, it was pretty cool. And then we had another call with the actual owner in one of the big guys in the Obey Alliance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so had a big call. That was a couple of days ago. Can't talk too much about it, but
Mhm.
it's looking good right now as plans moving forward.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know how I feel about my decision to drop out. I honestly think I was just kind of mad in the moment.
You were yep, and that's totally fair. Um, Now, I mean, I think it was a shame that Stealth didn't get in the top 25 either. I think Stealth is a fantastic player. Definitely
Mhm.
should have been in the top 25, but I didn't see his second RC video. Did he make one?
Yeah, he did. He did. So you're talking about for the top 25, right? After he got in the top 50?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so he made a video which it was him talking about his like progression of world records. He talked about so he's had I think 3 or 4 100-hour Mob of the Dead games, and he talked about how he had like the 220 something or whatever and what he did in that game, then the 228 and what he changed in that game, the 233, what he changed there. Then he went on to talk about how he got the IW Raven the Redwoods world record and how he did that. And then I think he ended up talking about his speed runs with that. And I thought it was a good video. I thought it was interesting. But I was talking to MC, and MC said that the reason that they didn't pick Stealth was because he wasn't very enthusiastic, which I can somewhat understand, but I think that's just his voice because he's got that like southern
He's such a
accent.
chill, yeah, he's a southern
Yeah.
chill dude.
Hmm.
You don't get the super high up energetic that you want, but he's a super chill dude.
Hmm.
I've been in his stream every once in a while when he's live, and
Hmm.
it's definitely a vibe. It's not like the same vibe that you get from I think what they were, which bothers me because there were so many good players
Hmm.
in the I'm just a competitive player, so I see from like the competitive pool
Yeah.
so many good players that were trying out for and just didn't get in because I think they were mostly looking for content creation.
Yes. Yeah.
And although I'm a competitive player, I feel like I come off as someone who's super energetic and what you're
Hmm.
looking for in a content creator.
Yeah.
So they were like, you know what, let's get the best of both worlds, and they luckily they picked me up. Um, but it's just unfortunate because I see all these good players, and if you're getting these guys into maybe some competitive contracts, and you get something like ZWC come up, and they maybe win it, you maybe make some profit off that, but
Hmm.
they only saw the content creation moving forward, which I think is an absolute shame.
Yeah. I see myself as a content creator, and like I'm not an amazing player by any means.
No, you're
I'm
super entertaining though. Super, I love coming to your streams. Like
Thank
you
you,
are
dude.
one of my favorite streamers. I swear. This is that no bullshit, no bullshit. I actually do like watching your stream.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But yeah, I am a content creator who tries to play the game competitively and is okay at it, not like world record, but not casual or bad. So I'm kind of in the middle there. So I felt pretty confident that like I was going to be able to get into that top 10, but there was just a bunch of factors that kind of came together. First, when Stealth didn't make it, I was upset about it because me and him were the only people from the BO1 or like BO2 old game communities that were trying out, I think. And he didn't make it, and he's a much better player than me, so I was kind of shocked with that. I know he's not a big content creator, he's more of a competitive player, but I was a little bit shocked with that, so I lost a little bit of faith at that point. And then I was talking, or then the next challenge came out, and it was centered around Firebase Z, and I'm not a fan of Cold War. And I know they
Nope.
said that you could play something that's not Cold War, but the fact that it was centered around a Cold War map kind of didn't sit with me right. So that kind of made me a little bit mad. And then there's this one dude in the Obey Undead Discord. I don't even know who he was. Some guy that didn't make the top 25 that I was arguing with about something. And he ended up like pushing me over the edge. And after I got done being pissed off with that guy, I was just like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm feeling this anymore.
Right.
And I ended up dropping out, which not sure how I feel about the decision. I feel like both decisions, like staying in the RC and making it, or staying in the RC and not making it, like
Mhm.
they could have been good decisions for me too. At this point, I really don't know. I really don't know. I think Obey Undead definitely does have some potential, especially with the people they picked. Because I think you, Earthamon, I'm probably forgetting some people, and obviously like Pikachu. I really like Pikachu. I think he's a great
Yeah.
dude. And Jay Z is really nice, good content creator. MC, like, there's a lot of good people on that roster, a lot of good people. And I think I probably should have not let the like
The emotions
my.
get to you, but you know
Mm-hmm,
what? Again, if you I'm pretty sure the offer is still up on the table, not like to the RC, but if you grind towards it, I'm sure within not even like a week,
mm-hmm.
if you put a couple days into it, show that you care about, joining this team, you might get a DM from Gregor MC saying, you know what, Mike, we like your content. You're a super entertaining streamer. We
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't mind you on Oband Dad. And then we'd decide, I'd see you pop up in the group DM. I'd be like, oh, let's fucking go. Big Mike is now an Oband Dad member.
Yeah,
Um,
I hope I didn't so if I ever decide that I want to go for it again, I hope I didn't like ruin my chances because I've had a
right.
few podcasts, I haven't been the nicest, I haven't been like toxic or anything, but
Right.
like, I've said my piece how I feel about certain things, but
Which you should be able to do. And I
yeah.
mean, it's 100% respectable.
Mm-hmm. But
I mean,
yeah.
I'm in, and I still have some opinions, but
Mm-hmm.
I will keep them to myself just to
Yeah. I guess we'll have to see, man. I guess we'll have to see.
yeah.
So since you've joined Obey Undead, I know they have a pretty large audience. Like they have about 2K followers on Twitter now, and the
Mhm.
account's relatively new. And I think some of the big YouTubers follow Obey Undead. Have you seen any sort of increase in growth since you joined the team?
I wouldn't say like any exponential growth, and I don't think that's what I joined the team for.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't join the team to get like some super good because I was already probably one of the bigger, pickups in following
Mm-hmm.
percentage.
Yeah.
I joined it to have a group of people to talk to. I joined it so um I could have someone to represent.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like riding solo in in a community like this just maybe won't do it for you. So having obey in front of my name, it's like a personal thing. I enjoy it. I love seeing it, and I'm sure I've had some people come to the streams. I've seen people in Greg's stream come to my stream. I've seen MC people come to my stream.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a nice community that I've wrapped myself around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good, man. I kind of did my own little thing with a group back in the day. When I first started out on Twitch, I had this group that I made called the Visionaries.
Okay.
If you see my stream, like you see there's a V at the bottom of the face cam. Like I have my face cam outline and there's a V with
Mhm.
like an eyeball. That's for Visionaries. Cause when I first started streaming, I met a bunch of cool people in the community, like 3 to 4 people, and I decided I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a content creation team sort of thing. So I asked them if
Okay.
they wanted to join, and they all joined, the people that I asked, and we had our own little group, and we didn't do anything special as a group, but we knew that we were our own little thing, and it was nice being in our own little community, and we got super close because of it. So like the team's kind of not a thing anymore. Like some people
Right.
left, I had some new people join, and then we kind of stopped doing anything. But I completely understand, being in a
Yeah,
group.
that's super cool. That's a sick story.
Hmm.
So I mean, I hope that Obey Undead is just like the Visionaries,
Yeah.
maybe at a higher scale. But
Yeah.
I just want a group around me that I can talk to and
Hmm.
just share zombies experiences with.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to see what content you guys are going to come out with, because I know you got some sick editors on the team and a nice variety of like content creators,
We got yeah different creators,
speedrunners.
speedrunners.
Yeah.
We got trick shotters.
Yeah.
A bunch of people were hating on the trick shotter, by the way. Like, if you look in the comments, it's like, "Why'd you guys pick up a trick shotter? Like, this is zombies, dude." I'm like, you know what? It's content.
Yeah, I was a little bit skeptical about it, but it is content that we've never seen before, and zombies, there's only so much you can do. So, if we can get some trick shotters in there,
Let's
maybe
just do
it'll
it.
be nice. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. They rolled the dice on him, but
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Messi's a good dude. I like Messi.
Hmm. Yeah, I haven't talked to. a bunch of the people in the top 10 yet. I'm sure I'll
Mhm.
go like into their streams at some point and check them out. But yeah, from the people I know that got in, good for you guys. I'm proud of you guys,
Right,
and
right.
definitely you were on my list. Like if Kooky doesn't get in, this team is dead.
I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure a bunch of people would have been mad if I didn't get in.
Yeah.
Which is I'm glad to know that, there's people that were supporting me.
Mhm.
Um, Especially when they didn't announce my name in the top 25. I was seeing some comments. I was like, they're like, "Where's Kooky? Like, Kookie's this like big guy. Why didn't you pick him up?"
Uh-huh.
Obviously, like miscommunication here and there brought me in, so we're good. But it's good to know that I have like a little community behind me that's
Mhm.
supporting me. I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, we got you, man. And I know for a fact your community has you. And hopefully, your Obey Undead community, all you guys can grow together, like grow closer, and then
Right.
grow your channels and make some good ass zombie content.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right. I think that's gonna wrap up today's episode. Anything
All right.
else you want to
Uh,
say?
no, Mike, just thanks for having me on. It was an enjoyable talk. I love, talking about what I do. I love talking with you. You're such a great person.
Thank you.
And it was just I'm glad you invited me on. I had
Hmm.
a great time.
Yeah, me too, man. I've been wanting to get you on for a while. Back when it was just me and Nick, we always talked about having you on, just didn't ever end up reaching out,
Nah,
but
you're making me blush. Making me
but
blush.
yeah, yeah, I appreciate you coming on, man. It was
Yeah, of course.
a lot of topics we got into today, a lot of good conversations,
Good.
and
Yeah, great talk here.
yeah.
So everyone follow the Big Mike 24 on Twitch. Follow him on YouTube. Follow Kooky SR on Twitch. Follow me on
Mhm.
YouTube at Obey Kooky. Um, and I love every single one of you that watches the podcast.
Yes, thank you, Kooky. Thank you for the shout out for me. And yes, Kookie's links will
Yes.
be at the top of the description, like always. Gotta support the homies. Go give Kooky some follows. Go hang out in his stream. Yeah, boys. Thank you guys once again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.